Right now, the latest update as of 8 p.m. So the 8 p.m. advisory has come in from the National Hurricane Center, and we are dealing with still a Category 3 storm on our hands, which is still classified as a major hurricane with sustained winds of 115 miles per hour, still moving to the north-northeast at 8 miles per hour. As of last hour, the 7 o'clock advisory, we have noticed that those winds are slowly starting to trend downward, which is what was anticipated as it moves further on land. This system does not have the warm ocean temperatures or waters to grow and mature, and that's why we're seeing that very fast dissipation, but still a very serious situation on our hands for Central Florida as it's barreling toward northern Florida later on tonight. And we'll watch as it continues with its hurricane or Category 3 hurricane strength over the next several hours. Then it will be downgraded to a Category 2, and then eventually sometime tomorrow morning, we are anticipating Ian to be downgraded to a Category 1 storm as it impacts locations in northern Florida, so Daytona Beach and into the east coast of Florida. Eventually, by tomorrow evening, it will become a tropical storm. However, we will watch as the center of Ian will then emerge potentially into the Atlantic Ocean. If it is able to do so, then it will gather all of that moisture, that energy from the Atlantic, potentially re-strengthening once again before it makes its third and final landfall somewhere along the coastline of southern Georgia and into South Carolina by Friday afternoon. So only time will tell where exactly we will be dealing potentially with that final landfall. But what we know is that this system is very slow moving. It is still bringing heavy, drenching rain. That is the biggest concern, especially with that flash flood emergency that we do have in effect right now for locations in southwestern Florida as it works its way through Central Florida tonight, crawling to the northeast at 8 miles per hour. We are going to watch as more locations will be without power. Right now, millions of Floridians currently without power, and unfortunately more to come. So who is most at risk next? Well, we want to show you those counties. Hillsborough, Sarasota, Lee, Manatee, Charlotte. These are locations where we have been extremely hard hit, but still to come. Population in the cone, the path of Ian, 18 million Floridians. So we are just seeing the serious impacts, and as more time passes, we will continue to watch those numbers increase over the coming hours.
I'm Amy Freeze. Welcome to Fox Weather's YouTube page. We have more great videos on the way, so make sure to subscribe to stay updated on all things weather.